Tracy McGrady was one of the top players in NBA history. He was a 7-time All-Star and in one season averaged 32 points a game. But he played on a couple of average teams, and when he wasn't, his career was hurt badly by several injuries. This has made him one of the greatest basketball players to never win an NBA championship, or even barely ever make it out of the first round of the playoffs. Before we get to where he is now, let's take a short look at his career and see how things played out. Tracy McGrady was raised by his mother and grandmother. He played his senior season of basketball at Mount Zion Christian Academy. He was pretty much an unknown player in the world of basketball. He entered the Adidas ABCD camp as the 175th ranked player in the nation. He had such a strong performance against the top talent in the country that he now left the camp as the number 1 ranked player in the entire country. He went from 175th to number 1 after only one camp. He then went on to lead his high school to the number 2 ranked team in the nation. He was named a McDonald's All-American, the National Player of the Year by USA Today, and North Carolina's Mr. Basketball. Tracy was going to play for the Kentucky Wildcats, but since the NBA saw him as a projected lottery pick, he entered the NBA draft straight out of high school, where he was picked 9th overall by the Toronto Raptors in the 1997 NBA draft. Tracy McGrady describes his rookie season as hell. Then coach Darrell Walker only let him play 13 minutes per game, and McGrady said some days he'd feel lonely and sleep up to 20 hours a day. But when new coach Butch Carter took over, he told McGrady he would play more if he increased his work ethic. All of this changed when Tracy McGrady's cousin, Vince Carter, was acquired by the Toronto Raptors in a draft day trade. Carter's grandmother explains that her father-in-law is the brother of McGrady's grandmother, making them second cousins once removed. If you still want to count that as cousins or not is up to you. But either way, they developed a great relationship, and Tracy McGrady went on to be a 6th Man of the Year contender, compete against his cousin in the slam dunk contest, and average 15 points a game, leading his team to a 45-37 record. Tracy would follow up the season by signing a $67 million contract with the Orlando Magic because he didn't like being the second hand behind Vince Carter, and he wanted to return to his home state of Florida. Throughout his time in Orlando is when he'd play the best of his career. He'd finish his time there with 4 All-Star appearances, make the All-NBA first team, average 32 points for a season, finish 4th in MVP voting, win the scoring title for 2 consecutive years, and sadly blow a 3-1 lead in the playoffs before it was in style. After being traded to the Houston Rockets, Tracy McGrady would be teamed up with Yao Ming, historically score 13 points in 35 seconds, continue to make the All-Star game, go on a 22-game win streak, never play a game outside of the first round of the playoffs, and continuously get injured. After Tracy's multiple injuries in Houston, he was never the same. He bounced around the Knicks, Pistons, Hawks, the CBA, and played with the 2013 San Antonio Spurs just in time to play in the playoffs, where he'd play his first minutes outside of the first round. The Spurs lost in the finals to the Miami Heat, so McGrady never won a ring in his career. This was the last time Tracy McGrady was ever seen on an NBA court, so where is he now? Tracy McGrady officially retired from the NBA on ESPN's First Take on August 26, 2013.
I think I've had a great run, and it's come to an end. I think I'm excited and I'm happy about what's next to come, and it's time to walk away.
So you're retiring?
It's over.
Just a few months later, he pulled a Michael Jordan and pursued his dreams of becoming a professional baseball player. McGrady made the roster for the Sugarland Skeeters in the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball. He started in the All-Star game, recorded his first strikeout, and then ultimately retired for good that same night. In 2014, Tracy began appearing on episodes of Open Court, where NBA legends talked about their past stories. McGrady opened up about the fact that he considered using steroids to get healthy after getting injury after injury in his career. Also in 2014, Tracy began mentoring and helping train young high school and college players through the assistance of Adidas. 2 years later, in February of 2016, Tracy McGrady had joined ESPN as an NBA analyst and was even made a part of ESPN's The Jump. And in September of 2017, Tracy McGrady was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. He gave a speech specially thanking Isaiah Thomas, who was the executive vice president of the Toronto Raptors that drafted Tracy McGrady. He thanked him for giving him a chance and believing in him straight out of high school. He also thanked all of his family, friends, teammates, and coaches throughout the years. But before actually being inducted, Tracy had tried to justify the fact that he never won a ring and said, anyone can win a ring, but not everyone can make it to the Hall of Fame. J.R. Smith randomly took offense to this and said on Twitter, "This man really said anyone can win a ring, but not everyone can make it to the Hall of Fame, so no one else thinks this is dumb as hell?" After that he said, "So he played for the Hall and not to win. If I was on his teams, we fighting. I don't care if we don't play anymore. Don't waste my time, not with hoop." Now I mean, J.R. Smith clearly looks dumb here because he obviously didn't understand what McGrady meant. He was saying how any bench warmer or random player can be on a championship team, but you have to be truly talented to make it into the Hall of Fame. JR just thought that McGrady meant that he only played for stats, didn't care about championships, and only wanted to make it to the Hall of Fame. Tracy later said that it didn't bother him what JR said, and it's okay to give his opinion, but what bothered him was when JR said that if they were on the same team, they would have fought. I mean, it seems like a pointless comment by JR Smith that in my opinion made him look bad because he didn't understand what was being said. So definitely comment what you think about this situation, and definitely comment who you'd like to see where they are now next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next video.